Hello, peoples. I just got done watching The Lost City. This movie has a pretty stacked cast when you kind of think about it. This movie has Channing Tatum, Sandra Bullock, Brad Pitt, and Daniel Radcliffe, all pretty well-known Hollywood stars. And my expectations for this movie were kind of just towards the bottom when I first saw the trailer. At first, I was kind of like, "Oh, the Brad Pitt bit looks funny," but I didn't really expect Brad Pitt to be in the movie very long. And then the reviews came out, and I was pleasantly surprised by the response to this movie. And now that I've seen it, I am kind of like stuck in the middle of it because the movie is better than what I thought it was going to be based off the trailers, but the reviews are kind of like, I think this has a 76 right now on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't think it's like, I think this movie should be at this in the 60s. Like, I don't think this movie is that good. Um, but it's still entertaining at moments. I really thought there's some really good bits, particularly with Brad Pitt. There's some good gags here and there. But unfortunately, I just thought everything else about the movie was just kind of bland to me. Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum, they were funny. I like the concept of it about the writer, about the writer and the dynamic with Channing Tatum's like as he plays the model for the books that the writer writes, that, and them kind of being stuck in that situation. Like, that's kind of a cool idea, but they didn't get as like corny as I wanted it to be. I really wanted it to be like very, very self-aware, and I thought I was gonna get that based off the reviews and the fact that we had like the most over-the-top Brad Pitt hair swing ever. I was like, okay, maybe they're really going for it. And it was only in those couple scenes where I felt like they're really going for it. And there was a couple other moments in the movie where I was like, okay, maybe they're accepting the silliness. But a lot of the other times I was like, you're taking yourself very seriously in a couple scenes. There's like a lot of scenes where I was like, you're taking yourself a lot more seriously than I would care for the movie to be. I really just kind of wanted like over top fun experience, almost like what they do with like Austin Powers, like just it knows what it is, just be stupid about it. But this movie like kind of did it, but took itself too seriously at moments, I thought. Daniel Radcliffe's character is very bland and uninteresting. He really tries in this role. He just I didn't have any interest in it, like, at all. Um, and that's the thing about the movie. I just kind of like passively watched it, like thinking this isn't terribly like offensive to me, but this movie isn't like impressing me either. Like I said, there are some moments where like that was a good bit, that was funny, that was a fun chase. Like, I guess like there wasn't like anything particularly impressive about like any like action sequence, but there was like fun moments. And at the end of the day, I just don't think I'm gonna really remember this movie. Besides the Brad Pitt part, and that just sucks to say, but he stands out that much to me. Like, I will give him a JW Award nomination next year for supporting actor. I'm joking. Well, and at the end of the day, I'm just kind of meh on this movie. I mean, it was funny at moments, but it didn't impress me in any way. And I know a lot of people are having fun with this movie, and maybe it's because the movie starts good and it ends good, but everything in between with me just kind of had me meh. So, yeah, I know, and I would have more to say about this movie. It's just, it's very forgettable and bland to me. Like, there was some good jokes, and half the time the jokes landed, half the time it didn't. The leads, Sandra Bullock and Channing Tatum did exactly what you would think they would do in this type of movie. Have the bits where it's just like kind of eye rolling, what they're trying to do with their characters, and it's romance. And there's some moments where I was like, oh yay, okay, they're friends now. It's stuff like that, but it just felt all so familiar to me. And that sucks because I really wanted a movie that kind of stood out, and it did at moments, but as a whole, it just did not to me. I don't want to watch this movie again, and I'm not going to give this movie an awful score because it doesn't do anything terrible, but at the same time, it's just not doing anything to particularly impress me or make it memorable besides the bit with Brad Pitt. And I don't want to sound terribly tough on this movie. It's how I feel. Um, so yeah, I'm gonna give The Lost City a 7, not a 7, sorry, 5.2 out of 10. So yeah, anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.